Okay, so this is day 5 of my attempt to learn Rust, ECS, making a roguelike, and kind of how to stream. So we've gotten as far as 2.2 here in this roguelike tutorial. So the roguelike tutorials, you can see the URL up there. We've gotten entities and components down. We've created a map that we can walk around in. And we can see it here. There's a map that I can walk, and the walls, the hashtags there on the walls block me, and the floor, the gray dots on the floor allow me to pass. So we've gotten that far, and we still have these little left mover guys from the previous chapter. It was not there wasn't anything in the tutorial that removed them, but you can see on their little demo here that they removed it. So we're going to have to probably pull that out shortly. And probably the easiest thing to do is just don't create the entities. So let's go on to a more interesting map and see what we can do here. So we're going to start by cleaning up our code a bit and utilizing separate files. Oh, okay. So yeah, we talked about that yesterday. Trying to split things up. I divide them up into components and map and the world state. And then we have this left walker system, which I think we're just going to pull out. We also have this try move player. And we have player input, and then the main function, which just gets everything going. So if you look at the source code for this chapter, you see you've broken out a lot of functionality into individual files when you make a new file. Okay, so one of the things I like to do when I'm learning from a manual is to type in the code myself and do everything myself, rather than just pulling in changes or doing a copy paste. So let's take a look at what they did to change things. They've got components, map, player, and rect. Okay, I don't know what rect is. And that's probably part of this chapter is rect. Main does what? It does mod components, pub use component star, mod map, pub use map star, mod player, use player star. So okay, so the way they're pulling stuff in is one at a time, like this. We might be able to do it more cleanly, just having a library. And is that something we should do now? Try to figure that out. There's a way to specify, because right now in our source we just have main. But if we have source lib and then just pull everything in from lib, does that work? I'm about to find out and probably go through some frustrating stuff. So let's see. Source lib mod.rs, is that what it's called? And what we can do is we can put in, let's just try putting the component systems. Looks like this just uses components. Delete that. And then remove it from here, right? And then say here, use create lib star. Let's see if that works. No, it didn't like any of that. Could not find lib in the crate root. Well, I mean, there's definitely a lib. Or maybe it's looking for it in the... What if I just do lib? Like that. No. Is that the same exact error? Unresolved import lib. Use of undeclared crate or module lib. Ooh. So how does this work? There's a Rust create library for binary. Make a combined binary in a binary project. Oh, okay. Name is your library name. Path is sourcelib.rs. And then this will declare a library. And then create a bin folder and make bin.rs or any other name. Add bin, key, and cargo toml. It has double brackets. And then use your library name, your library function. Now when you add a main function to bin, you cargo run, you can see the output of the binary from a bin project. Okay. Source lib.rs. Any pub functions or modules in lib.rs will be available as the library. And then we can still use that. Okay, let's try that. So we have a bin. Name is equal to RT. Right, I don't want to change the name. Path is equal to source main.rs. And then lib, name is equal to rtlib. How about my RT? Tutorial. And then the path is going to be equal to source libmod.rs. Right? And then in main, we have to say tutorial and see if that works. It's better. Didn't blow up as much. But we did get this stuff. So we probably have to pull in all that specs prelude, right? Let's put that there. Try again. Ooh, this is better. And now we have... Did I delete? What did I delete? Too much? No? Oh, the components have RGBs. My mistake. Right, so we do need RLTK RGB. Right? Like that. And now everything blows up again. What do I do? Doesn't recognize position. Even though they're coming from... Oh, did I forget to make them pub? I did. Pub. Pub. Pub and pub. There we go. Oh, now everything's private. Oh boy, everything's got to be pub? That's... okay. I guess it's just a tutorial, so... right? And we're not using component in main anymore. So we don't need that. All right, so we've refactored this into the mod. But now I want to refactor this down one more layer and make mod just use this. Right? So source lib. So say mod rs, this is just the components. And mod.rs should just include use tutorial or mod components. Use tutorial components star. Oops. Like this, maybe? No, no, you have to say try that. Oh, how would it find it? Use of undeclared crate or module tutorial. Oh, so maybe we don't even need to do this, right? Can we do that? Damn. Unused import component star. Oh, because now in main, yeah, we're saying use tutorial star. And libmod saying use components star. Do I have to say use tutorial components? Like this? Nope. It's not warning about, it's saying not found in the scope. Here. Module components is defined here, yep. Do I do it like this? Nope. Same exact problem, right? Use undeclared crate or module components. It says your library name and then your library name colon your library function. But if you include it as a mod, right, then like here, so mod components, use component star. So this lib tutorial should pull it in like that. Let me take a look at this again. No, same error. Unused import. What if I say use tutorial like this and then say position? Oops. What does that complain about? Oh. There. We don't get the colors, but we get this. So tutorial, yeah, private. Oh, private struct. Oh, pub. Does it work like that? Nope. What blew up now? Cannot find renderable in this scope. Even though not found in this scope. Oh, because I just did position. If I do tutorial star, does this finally? Yes. Okay. Wow, that was an interesting journey. Yeah, and it should still work exactly the same, right? If I load this up here and hit refresh, yep, and that still works. And then the components are coming from the components source lib components, right? These are all the components. Everything's pub, which is frustrating. Libmod just has a list of all the things it needs, and then source main has use tutorial star, and we get everything that way. So when we create, right, they also forked off or refactored. Sorry, we don't need this anymore. Don't need that anymore. They factored out components, map, players, and then rect is going to come in new. So let's do that. We got a map section here, right? If I create a new file called map, source lib map.rs, right? We can pull all of this in. How far down does it go? We have new map, we have draw map, and we're going to have to change these to public, right? So put those here. And we're going to need tile type. Do we use tile type anywhere? Tile type, I think we do. So tile type has to be public, right? I don't think this needs to be public. This is private to this, maybe? I don't know. XYIDX is used to determine where the player position is. So it has to be public. That has to be public. This has to be public. Everything's public. That's a frustrating way to work. So we have tile type. What else do we use in here in terms of, oh, we need RLTK. So use RLTK random number generator. Right? That way we can remove this. RG roll dice, draw map. Oh, we do need RGB. Okay. RGB. What else do we need? And apparently we need to see, well, let's see if this compiles. Right, so we'll need to do the same thing here, except we're going to do map and map. And see if this builds. Nope. Oh. Yep, RLTK, RLTK. All right. RLTK. Does this build? It does. And does it still work? Refresh. It still works. Excellent. Okay. So that's map. And then player. So what do we have here? The world state is in here. I guess we can leave that there, right? And we're going to get rid of this left walker. I guess. Here's the player, right? So we have try move player and player input. So pub mod player, pub use player : star, and then we'll source lib player.rs. Is that what's in here, by the way? In player.rs. Try move player, player input. Yeah. Although this is a little took a peek ahead there. Let's take a look at these guys. Let's cut these out here and paste them into player. These both have to be pub, right? We need RLTK, we need world. Oh, that's interesting because world is here. Oh no, world is up there. That's fine. We do need position player, which comes from components. So maybe that needs to be pulled in, but let's find out. We have virtual key code, so that needs to come from here, right? We don't need game state, right? We do need RLTK, we need virtual key code, and do we need RGB? We do not. Okay. And we probably need the specs stuff, right? Oh, and the min-max is in here, right? It's no longer min-max. Yep, so we can put that down here. And what fails to build? Everything. Tile type. Oh, did I forget to make that public? I thought I made that public. Source lib map. It is public, so that means we need. Do I have to do say use tutorial like that? Use of undeclared crate or module tutorial. Is this where I use the word crate? Oh, I see. Crate components world. Huh. I wonder if I can do crate : star like that. World is still missing, but we know world comes from the specs, right? And probably the prelude. So if I do that, put that there. Nope. Oh, and state. Okay. State is the thing that's up here that creates the world. So state is not a component yet, but it is part of the library. So maybe that can just go in mod. Is that cheating? Like this. Source lib mod and just put it here. Probably have to say pub, right? That might not need to be a pub. That might not need to be a pub either. Will that work? It did not. Not found in the scope. Oh! Yeah, so this one actually has to pull in the prelude, right? But does that mean we don't actually need it here? Because it's being pulled in by the library? Game state for state. Oh, game state comes from RLTK. Game state. Let's see. This is a learning journey here, and RLTK is not. RLTK. So that means any other thing that uses RLTK doesn't need to do it because we're getting it from the crate. Right? Does that build? It does not. I just blew up. Okay. I blew everything up. Everything up. Unused import virtual key code. Not found in the scope. And it says in main. But state should be coming from... Yeah, so I was wondering if by doing that, will that allow us to get everything? But maybe it needs to be here too. Right? We're not using virtual key code here. We are using RGB to set the entities. So we don't, oops. So we don't need those. And we haven't even started the tutorial. We're just, oh, look at this. Private, oh, okay. That's an easy one to fix. Right? I don't like all this pub all over the place. There you go. Yeah, so you should probably implement some sort of a function, but this is simple. This is simple. Let's hit reload. And, oh, that's right. We removed this. We removed the left mover system. So they're not moving anymore. And we can, let's delete those entities now because we don't need those. They're in main. So we get rid of the left mover. Gone. And refresh. Ooh, look at that. Now we have a guy who can move around, gets blocked by walls. Yep. And no more left movers. So we did a lot of changes here to do the refactoring. Get status. Right. We modified cargo toml. Well, let's add cargo toml and source. And take a look at the diffs. So we modified the binary, or the cargo toml, to create a binary called RT, which it was before, and give it its path. And we created a lib called tutorial, and the top of the lib, the root of the lib, is here, mod.rs. So we created a components which contain all of our components, right? We created, and it's just copy paste from where it was before. Here's the map, which contains all of our map stuff. Creating a new map, drawing a new map, or drawing the existing map. This is the top of the library where we put the world and state info, plus we pulled in all of the other parts of the library so they're accessible to top level users who use crate : star. Player RS has the 2 player functions, and then main has everything removed from it. Right? It's all gone. We only use RGB for this, and we use tutorial. All of that got deleted. It got moved to those separate files. Okay. Git commit -m big refactoring, and removed the left mover, left walker code. Good. All right, so now we're actually ready to begin the next chapter of the book. We've done a refactoring, but we've done our refactoring rather than just pulled in their source. Okay, so now we're going to make a more interesting map. We'll start by renaming new map to new map test. We'll stop using it, but keep it around for a bit. It's a decent way to test our map code. We'll also use Rust's documentation tags to publish what this function does in case we forget later. Okay? Nothing running. Source. Now source lib map. Right. Okay. Makes a map with solid boundaries and 400 randomly placed walls. No guarantees that it won't look awful. Okay. So that's what we're going to do. Makes a map with solid boundaries and 400 randomly placed walls. No guarantees that it won't look awful. All right. And it didn't wrap. I'm going to have to fix that in Vim. And we'll call this new map test. Okay. In canonical Rust, if you prefix function with comment starting with 3 slashes, it makes it into a function comment. Your IDE, which I don't have Rust extension set up here. Maybe I will later. Will then show you your comment text when you hover the mouse over the function header. So now in the spirit of original libtcod tutorial, we'll start making a map. Our goal is to randomly place rooms and join them together with corridors. We'll start with a new function. New map rooms and corridors. Okay? We can do that. Pub function new map rooms and corridors. And we're going to return the same vec tile type that we had before. New map equals vec tile type wall 80 by 50. We're still making an 80 by 50 and return map, and we're done. Of course, cargo is going to complain. Compiler is going to complain. It doesn't need to be mutable. This makes it a solid 80 by 50 map with walls on all tiles. You can't move. We kept the function signature, so changing the map we want to use in main RS, just changing this GCS insert new map test, which it wasn't, to GCS insert new map rooms and corridors. Once again, we're using the vec macro to make our life easier. All right, let's change this source lib, no, main. New map rooms and corridors. And if I do that now, it's going to complain it doesn't have to be mutable, but it should still compile, and it should still generate a full map, yeah, and you can barely see. Let me make this bigger. You can see a little guy in there, and I can't move because there's walls on all sides of me. So this is definitely a more interesting map. Since this algorithm makes heavy use of rectangles and a rect type, we'll start by making one in rect.rs. Okay, so this is where we're going to create a new libmod.rs. We're going to create a new rect, pub mod rect, pub use rect : star, and we'll create a new file called a rect, pub struct rect, pub x1 i32. Oh, you know what I forgot to do was cargo format before I checked in the refactor. And this is y1 and y2. And they're all i32s, and I need to use commas, not semicolons. And then we implement rect. Pub function new, x i32, y i32, w i32, and h i32. I assume that's x, y, width, and height. Returning a rect. Rect. Huh. You know, there's a better way to do this, right? Oh, I see. x1, x, y1, y. And x2 is x plus width, and y2 is y plus height. Okay. We'll do that. x1, x, y1, y. I was thinking because in Rust, the names, the variables are the same as the names of the structure components, you don't have to do this colon syntax. But x plus w and y2 is y plus h. And then returns. So let's do that for now. I'm not going to put in intersect and center just yet because I want to see. Definitely have to create a new one, but I want to add those functions as we come to them, because it makes more sense for me to do that. So in our map, we're going to now add, see, because this just does rect new, right? And then apply room to, oh, okay, we have a new function called apply room to map. So let's do that. Let room1 equal to rect new 2015 1015, and we'll create room 2 and make this 35 15 10 15, and then apply room to map, and pass in room 1 and our map that we're going to mutate, and we're going to change that there and apply both rooms. If you cargo run your project, you see I have 2 rooms. Okay, we have to put this function in. Apply room to map. Room gets a reference to a rect, and map is a mutable slice of tile types. It does not return anything. For y in room.y1 plus 1 to room.y2, for x in room.x1 plus 1 up until room.x2. It's interesting that we're adding one on this side and then saying dot dot equals instead of, okay. It seems like it would simplify things if we were able to say room.y1 dot dot room.y2, but then we would have to add 1 to everything as we go through it. Why did that happen? That's weird. Map of x, y, idx, x, y. Turn the sound off there. Equals tile type floor. Boom, boom, boom. Done. So this does not compile. Oh, because we have not included rect. I thought we did. Source lib mod.rs pubmod use rect. Oh, source lib rect. We didn't include the tutorial. No, not in rect. In map. Map. Yeah, we didn't include the tutorial. So what's the syntax for that? Source lib player. We did it. Yeah, use create star. Done. And build. Okay, so now we should have a room, or 2 rooms, sorry. Oh, only 1 room. Refresh, refresh, refresh. There's a room missing. What did I do wrong? Get diff. Is it obvious? Oh, it should have been 35. How did I mess that up? Source lib map. 25, change to 35. And rebuild. Refresh. Now we got it. Okay, so now we can move around again because our guy starts in the middle of the second room, but we can't get to the first room. All right, so it's more interesting. So let's check this in. Get status. Not anything there. Get add. Oh, before we do that, we'll do a cargo format. Get diff. See what this looks like. Oh, it just rearranged those. Alphabetical. Okay. Here's new map test. Got renamed from there. Here's our rooms. Map changes. Oh, right. We didn't need the brackets around that. And that's that change. Okay. Pretty good. What does Clippy say? Is Clippy still happy? Clippy's still happy. Git add source. Git status. Got everything. Git commit. Creating 2 rooms. New rect struct and creating 2 rooms with it. Good. So making a corridor to disconnect a room is as much fun. So let's add, okay. Let's add a corridor between them. We're going to need some comparison functions, so we'll have to tell Rust to import them at the top of map.rs. We did that. Okay, we did that for player, right? Source lib star. Yeah, so player has it. We'll have to add it to, let's just copy this. We'll add it to the map. Use if statements do the same thing, but some computers will optimize this into simple, fast call for you. Let's Rust figure that out. We'll make 2 functions for horizontal and vertical tunnels. Excuse me. Source lib map. So we're going to paste that in and then create these 2. Apply horizontal tunnel map. Oops. Map this mutable slice of tile types. X1, I32, X2, I32, and Y, I32. For X in min, X1, X2, all the way up to max. Yeah, see this? I like this one better than the apply with this messy looking syntax, because it looks the way the format works is it looks like this goes from 1 to room Y2, and then we're adding room.Y1 to it, although it's really like this. So I'd prefer to change the code to make it look nicer, but we're gonna have to live. X1, X2, let index is equal to XY index of X and Y. Oh, the Y comes from here. And if index is greater than 0 and index is less than 80 by 50, you're going to have to change that, make that a global because it's being used everywhere now as use size, tile type, floor. Okay, so that's the horizontal tunnel, and the vertical tunnel is the same thing except y1, y2, and x. Okay, let's copy paste and then mess everything up. Horizontals are just a vertical. The x is changed to y's, and the y changes to an x. Oops. Those are y's now, and x is xy. Oh, this has to be a y, right? And then, yep, that doesn't change, that doesn't change. Okay, so we add a call to apply a horizontal tunnel to the room. So we get a tunnel between them. Apply horizontal tunnel, meet map, 25, 40, 23. Okay, to our map making a function, and to our map making function, right? And voila, we have a tunnel between the two rooms. All right, so we've written this vertical tunnel, but we're not using it yet. All right, let's build it. We'll see the complaint about vertical tunnel. Oops. I misspelled tunnel. There we go. Yep. And now if I hit refresh, we should see a tunnel between them. Yay. Okay, now this guy can move between. Look at that. I'm going to have to add diagonal movement at some point. I'm sure that's coming. Okay, so now that's this. What we got? Format it. Clippy's going to complain about the unused function, but that's okay. I'm sure we'll get there. Git add source, git commit, draw horizontal tunnel between rooms. All right, so now we can use that to make a random dungeon. We'll modify our function as follows. So we're still creating a new map, the same way we are. We're creating a vector of recs to hold all the rooms. We'll create a maximum of 30 rooms with a minimum and maximum size of 6 and 10 respectively. We use a random number generator to generate a room of different sizes. It says roll dice. I don't know what the difference is between a range and a roll dice. I'll have to look that up. We create a new room with a rect. Make sure it's not intersecting. Okay, so this is where we have to implement the intersect function. And then we apply the room to the map and room push. And we're still not using horizontal or vertical. Lib map. Here. So we're going to comment these guys out. Bum, 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 bum. And then we're going to modify this. Oh, we have to create the intersect function for the rect, right? So we didn't add that yet. So let's add that now. What we're going to do is it's going to return true if two rectangles intersect each other. Intersect self other rect bool. Self.x1 is less than other.x2, and self.x2 is greater than or equal to, oops, less than or equal to other.x1, and self.y1 is less than or equal to other.y2, and self.y2 is greater than or equal to other.y1. I assume I am right. And that's the end of that function. So now, in here, we're going to come up to this. So we're going to create, instead of this room 1 and room 2, not doing that either. Let's do let mute rooms vec rect is vec new. Const max rooms I32 is 30. Oh, const, don't know how that happened. Min size I32 is 6, and const max size I32 is 10. Let mute RNG is equal to random number generator new. Do we have it here? We do. All right. For in 0 to the max rooms, let width is equal to random number range from min size to max size. We do the same thing for the height. Let x is equal to roll dice. 1 to 80 minus the width minus 1. Okay. Let y is equal to random number generator roll dice 1 to 50 minus height minus 1 minus 1. Good. And our new room is going to be a rect of x, y, width, and height. Let mute OK equals true. Okay. For other room in rooms.iter, if new room intersect other room, OK is false, and we're going to break. Doesn't have it there, but that's what I'm going to do. OK, apply room to map, new room, and map, and rooms.push. New room. Right? So this will create a bunch of rooms. We've added a constants. We got a new random number generator, randomly building a width and a height. We place a room randomly so x and y are greater than 0, less than a maximum map size minus 1. We reject the room if it overlaps, so we just ignore it. If it's okay, we apply it to the room. And we're keeping the rooms in the vector, although we're not using it just yet. Oh, and this rooms.put, well, we are kind of using it here, so I would disagree with not using it just yet part. All right. Does it build? No, we're not using min and max yet. Okay. I guess we will eventually. And now this will be completely different, right? We'll build rooms with randomly generated around the map. Refresh. Look at that. Refresh, 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 refresh. And I can move, but I can't move outside the rooms. All right. Okay. So cargo format, get diff. What have we got? So we're creating now git add source, git commit -m, creating a bunch of random rooms around the map. We now need to join the rooms together with corridors. We'll add this to the if OK section of the map generator. Okay. Loop map. And now we're going to use horizontal and vertical tunnel so we can put this code back in. Good. Where are we? Here. Okay. Apply room to map. If the rooms vector is not empty, then we're going to draw, random range. So half the time it's going to do horizontal then vertical, and then the other time it's going to do vertical then horizontal. Okay. And then we have to implement that center function. Source lib rect. And let's see, pub function center self, right? And then it's going to return a tuple of I32s, I assume. We're going to take a look in a second. Up here. Yep. Okay. I got it right. Look at that. Self.x1 plus self.x2 over 2, comma, self.y1 plus self.y2 over 2. And there you go. That's the whole center function. All right, and we go back down here, joining the rooms together. All right, so we've applied the room to the map, and we're going to still do a rooms push. That happens down there. So between these, we say if rooms is empty, so if the rooms aren't empty, let new x and new y is equal to the new room center, like that. Let prev x and prev y equal to rooms.len minus 1 dot center. Okay. So we get the center of the room we just applied to the map and the center of the room we previously applied to the map. If RNG range 0 to 2 is equal to 1, so I'm assuming the RNG range for range of 0 to 2 means return 0 or 1. So it's half the time. We apply horizontal tunnel, mute map, prev x, prev y, new x, new y. Of course it wraps. And then we apply the vertical tunnel with the same values, right? Oh, wait, no. Prev x, new x, prev y. That's what happens when you try to go too fast. New x. Look at that. It fits on one line. Okay. And then this is prev y. New y and new x. Right? Okay. Else, prev y, new y, prev x. Okay. We do the vertical tunnel first. Prev y, new y, prev x. And prev x, new y. I'm trusting their logic. And then close the if. Okay? Right? Roll the dice half the time it draws a horizontal, then vertical tunnel, half the time the other way around. All right. Try cargo run now. I shall. And refresh. Oh, look at that. Oh, but my player refresh. Oh, there we go. I can move off of that, but I can't move back on. Now we got tunnels. We got rooms connected by tunnels. We got dead-end tunnels. We have multi-connected tunnels. We have tunnels that are connected to other tunnels. We have rooms that got elongated by tunnels. Very exciting. Oh, look at this. It's almost starting to look like a roguelike. Very cool. I'm excited. Okay, so cargo format. And what does Clippy think? Clippy's still happy. Get diff. So I remove the comments. I put the new loop in. Or sorry, the new if statement in, and I added the new center function. Okay. git add source, git commit. Rooms are now connected by corridors. All right, we're almost done with this chapter. Placing the player. Currently, the player always starts in the center of the map, which with the new generator may not be a valid starting point. We could simply move the player to the center of the first room, but it's likely that our generator will need to know where all the rooms are so we can put things in them, rather than just the player's location. So we'll modify our new maps and rooms and corridors function to always also return the room list. So we change the font method signature, okay. Libmap. So it returns a tuple of the rooms and the map. Vec rect and vec tile type. Right? And we're going to have to change our main because that needs to accept the new so we have to do this, right? Let rooms and map equal to that guy, and then we'll insert the map, right? And then let player X, player Y, rooms of 0 dot center, and then change this guy to player X and change this guy to player Y. That looks like the only changes there. Yeah. Okay. Does that build? It does not. Expected to... Oh, I forgot to change the return... change the return to rooms map. Oh, that's the old one. Okay, here's the new one. Rooms and map. Like that. Does that build? It does. And if we refresh, now the player should start in the center of the first room. Every time, look at that. Every time I hit refresh, player pops to a new location, which is the center of the first room. Sweet. Okay. Wrapping up and supporting the numpad and VI keys. Now you have a map that looks like roguelike, places the player in the first room, and lets you explore with the cursor keys. Not every keyboard has cursor keys that are readily accessible. Some laptops require interesting key combinations for them. Lots of players like to steer with the numpad, but not every keyboard has one of those either. So we also support the directional keys from the text editor VI, which is actually what I'm using here. I'm using Vim version 8.1.2292. I'm not going to worry about diagonal movement yet. Denied. In player.rs, we'll change player input to look like this. All right. Source lib player. I'm sure diagonal movement is just going to be, you know, -1, -1, 1, 1, that sort of thing. But we're adding virtual key code left, numpad, and H. Can we do this? I've seen this done before. Virtual key code star. And then just that, right? And then we can just say left or numpad 4 or H. Right? Right or numpad 6 or L. Up or numpad 8 or K. Down or numpad 2 or J. That's a little less messy to read if this works. Hopefully this works. My laptop doesn't have a numpad, but it does have the H, L, K, and J keys, fortunately. I had to pay extra for that. Okay, that built. And let's see if I can use L, yes, H, J, and K. And ball is down arrow, up arrow, left arrow, right. You can't see I'm doing it, but I am doing it. HJKL and numpad. Okay. That was pretty straightforward. Oh, and that's it. That's the end of the chapter. So, cargo format. Let's see if that rearranges things. Clippy should still be happy because I haven't done anything fancy. Get diff. No, it's like this layout. That works for me. And then, all right, this was the changing that. So git add source, git commit, start player in middle of first room, and allow vi numpad keys for movement. Doing two things at once, never a good idea. All right, we're going to wrap it up there, and next time we will look at field of view. Thank you very much for watching.